All of us have middle situations that happen in our life. And if you're out of one middle, you're going to another middle. But you win in the middle. Because you have confidence and believe what God has said. Church people like to shout in the middle, but not believe in the middle. Shout because you need to shout. Dance because you need to dance. That's where he lives. But after you run around, young people, after you, amen, jumped around today. Tired, what we got to do? We got to be confident here. That after we jump and don't see it, that don't mean we stop believing. We walk by faith and not by sight. And see, what happens with the church is that here, it gets muddy. It gets cloudy. And you start listening to people, and they calling you, talking about, if I was you, I'd just quit. Because you're in the middle. Because they don't see the other side. They don't see the reward. Just because they don't see it, don't mean that it's not there. Just because they can't feel it, don't mean that it's not there. Just because they can't appropriate the proper confidence to bring it to them, doesn't mean that it's not there. You got to remain confident here. Now, let me tell you this, Christworldwide. You have a leader and leaders, him and his wife, that are confident in the middle. Now, if it wasn't true, I wouldn't say it. I'm not that preacher who comes to a church that says what I think the pastor want me to say for him to bring me back. I don't need your money. I'll take the seed because it'll bless you. I don't need the money. And I'm not bragging either. So what I'm saying, God told me to say. Have no tricks up my sleeves. None. You have a pastor, you have a leader and his wife who, not just with the hard thing, but with a lot of stuff. Whole lot of stuff. That they was coming here preaching and smiling and praising God and telling you he was awesome. But behind closed doors, it was rough. It was hard. They was crying. They was praying. You never saw some of that. See, people see the glory, but they don't know the story. Here's the story. Most time you see the glory. Same thing with some of you. People see your glory. They want to be like you. They envy you. They jealous of you. But if they knew how lonely it was sometimes, how hard it was sometimes, how rough it was sometimes, what you had to sacrifice that nobody knows, and you smile in the midst of your tears, you put on a smile. You gave a good face. You weren't faking it to make it. You was believing it to achieve it. You don't fake it to make it. You believe it to achieve it. In the middle, you got to believe it to achieve it. I ain't faking nothing. I'm believing this to achieve this. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. But I'm believing God. I'm trusting God to win. The second tool, and I'm done. I got a whole lot of them, but I'm going to stop here. Somebody shout win. Listen. There's nobody that's listening to me in this assembly or online that can't win. You hear me good if I be a man of God. Greatness is in everybody that's in this room. But it's going to take some work to get it out of you. Greatness is in every child in this room. but it's going to take some work to get it out of them. And you can't get to greatness until you change your mind. You cannot live as a king when you think like the pauper, when you think like the slave. Don't get mad at me now. Can I teach you like I need to teach you? Most of us grew up in an environment that did not teach success properly, that did not teach achievement properly, that did not emulate the greatness of God and what he can do in your everyday life successfully. Yes, they say we can go to heaven, but you're going to be hard while you're here. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. God never wanted you to go without eating. And many of us grew up in the hallways and said, you're going to struggle. It's going to be all right. But one day, you're going to get to the kingdom. You're going to have streets of gold. But they didn't say, you can drive real good right now. And it's not about money. It's not about some new car. It's about the principle of achieving. Because God bless you to be a blessing. And the more he give you, the more he's going to ask of you. And while he may be asking you for tens and hundreds, in a few days, he's going to start asking you for thousands. And that's a good place. And you want to get to that place. There's a time that my wife and I, we gave tens when we went to church. Went up to 20, 50, 100. Come on, somebody. Don't be ashamed where you at. That's just where you at. You got to win in the middle. Never forget being at Dr. Hilliard's church, Ivy Hilliard Church there in Houston. And people, they do motivational giving. And people in this aisle and that aisle, and pastors and leaders get up, and they would say, I'm so-and-so pastor of so-and-so church, and me and my wife, and we're going to give $1,000 or $10,000, and our church going to give $10,000. Wow. I was in that line. I'll never forget, Bruce. I was in that line. I had $100. I ain't say $100 from my wife and I, $100 from my wife and I in the church. Everybody hear me? And I'm standing in line. And the person in front of me gave $10,000, and their church gave like $10,000, $20,000. I said, I would be behind him. God help me. The devil said, get out of line. You're going to make a fool of yourself. Don't you sit up and say that. And then you had to give your name and where you was from and your church name. And we had microphones. And I got up there. I'm in the middle. Tell somebody, he in the middle. Because I heard God say he was going to do some great things through us, but I'm in the middle. And I don't have the thousands. And I got up to that microphone. I said, I was Bishop at the time. My name is Bishop Caracas Watkins. I'm the pastor of Emmanuel Church in Decatur, Alabama. I said, me and my wife and our church, we give $100. Everybody started clapping. I went back to my seat, still feeling a little funny. Devil said, you just made a fool out of yourself. But there was something inside of me that said you gonna be able to stand up and give thousands away. Keep your head up. That's where you at right now. But where you at right now is not where you gonna be. God has something great. So you got to learn to win and keep your head up in the middle, because look into the hills which cometh your help. Your help come from God, not from man. Don't you? Embarrassment is a choice. I choose not to be embarrassed. Embarrassment is a choice. I choose not to be embarrassed. Some of you embarrassed about where you at, what you drive, what you wear, how messed up your family is, how messed up your marriage is, how messed up your credit is. I want to tell you right now, you in the middle, baby, but you get some confidence in God and start to trust God, start to trust the gift that's in you, and you getting ready to come out. If you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. You go ahead, you go ahead, you go ahead. All right, last thing, I'm done. Good Jesus. Somebody shout, winning in the middle. In the middle. That's where life happens. That's where people give up on you. That's where your doubters show up. That's when your mind starts playing games on you in the middle. Because now you tell yourself, I can't do it. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities, powers. That's what the Bible said, put on every stronghold. Every stronghold means imaginations, theories, arguments, things, okay, that the devil messed with you on and bring them into the obedience of the word. What did the word say on it? So, lastly, but not last, but last for him today. The next tool I want to give you, and I'm done, is master meditation. Master meditation. First tool that I gave you was display confidence. The second tool I'm going to give you is master meditation. It's right there in the Bible. I'm going to show you. Psalms 27. See, Psalms 27, verse 4, Amplify, says, one thing I have asked of the Lord, and that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord in his presence all the days of my life. Here it is, to gaze. Somebody shout gaze. You got to get the word gaze. You got to get gaze. To gaze upon the beauty, the delightful loveliness, and majestic. Now, these are kingdom words poor people can't handle. Poor people are not poor. It's not what's in your pocketbook. It's what's in your brain. Poverty is not a result of your bank account. Poverty is a result of your mindset. It has nothing to do with your bank account. That's why we still broke, because we think wealth is a money thing. Wealth is a mind thing. Got time to talk about it right now. In majestic grandeur of the Lord, and to bam, meditate in his temple. This is the temple of God now. Gaze upon the beauty, which means the delightful loveliness and majestic grandeur of the Lord, and meditate in the temple. See, when we see the word meditation, we think Eastern mysticism, sitting down saying, whatever. But meditation comes from the Hebrew word bakur, which means to inquire, to take pleasure in, to worship. It means to sit as that sunrise and see what God's going to do. Y'all ain't ready for it. I'm where I'm at because I meditate my way from where I'm at in the middle to where I'm trying to get majestically. I'm going to teach this and I'm done. I know on the professional development come, I teach a lot on sociology, on the brain. You got to understand the future as in getting things. You better hear me. You excited about it? You say, well, why not write down? Yeah, write the vision now. So you have to trick your mind. When you're in the middle and you talking about what you gonna do, your brain, after you say it, don't know what you're going to do. So you got to trick your brain. Meditate means to mutter, to think about it. You got to train you to be a map to your future, not a record of your past.